Very much, Amrit, for inviting me to speak and provide my views. See, from a perspective, I'll provide a steel industry perspective. We do recognize that hydrogen is going to play an important role in the decarbonization journey of this sector. But before I come to that, let me provide a context of what's going to happen and what's happening in the steel industry. Now, look, the global end use demand for the steel is expected to grow from around 1.5 gigaton today to around 2.1 gigaton by 2050. I'm looking at 2050 time horizon because that's the matches with the sustainable development scenario predicted by IEA. So based on this projection, if you look at the direct CO2 emissions in 2050 from iron and steel industry is projected to around 2.5 gigaton per year. And that could possibly reduce to 1.2, almost 60%, if we follow sustainable development scenario and decarbonize the sector the way we want it to align with the 2-degree scenarios. Now, if I look at from an Indian perspective, the direct CO2 emission from this sector was around 225 million ton, which is approximately 10% of the total emission from the energy system. So that means significant CO2 emissions is coming from steel sector. Being the steel sector, I acknowledge the fact that we have a larger challenge. But at the same time, all the predictions in the absolute term, the production of steel in the Indian subcontinent is going to go very rapidly. So also the absolute emissions is going to increase. And that also, if you look at IEA's recent report on iron and steel technology roadmap, they acknowledge the absolute emission from the steel sector in India is going to increase. So these are the facts. But looking at the fact, I completely agree and concur with Dr. Sharma when she told that we have also some levers and path forwards to decarbonize, although in India we do not have regulatory compliance requirement to reduce CO2 emissions, but it is a good business sense that we reduce because that's imperative. We have to, and today or tomorrow it will be, before it become compulsory, we have to do. So if you look at the larger picture, what is the possibility we have? I could see that fundamentally there are two options available for this sector to reduce drastically the CO2 emissions. So one is that we continue with carbon as a reducing agent to make iron and capture them. After capturing, we can use or store them. That is one of the possibility. The other possibility is to substitute hydrogen for carbon as a reduction process, and thereby we generate simple water instead of carbon dioxide. So these are basic fundamentals to decarbonize this sector. But both these technology are in its very early stage of development for specifically large scale applications. While you could see the cost of CCUS is around additionally $100 per ton, the cost of steel through hydrogen could be around 600 to 700 US dollar per ton of crude steel productions. And to give a comparison, currently, if you look at average cost of steel productions by following the most popular method of blast furnace and BOF combination, where 70% of world steel is being currently produced, is around 450 to $500 per ton of crude steel production. So there is a significant cost, which everybody is, both Dr. Sharma and Anurag spoke about it, about the cost. So therefore, these technologies to be economically feasible, so the cost of technology should fall drastically and the cost of carbon should increase significantly because both will give a benefit. You reduction in cost of productions and uses. At the same time, the compliance cost of carbon need to be increased. Otherwise, the kind of target we are looking at 2-degree world is not going to be feasible. And I can talk about the sector where am operating. You told about cement and steel together. We are contributing more than 12% of world CO2 emissions. So it's significant. So look, if we give a hydrogen cost of around $2 per kg and a carbon price of around $86 per CO2 ton of CO2, then the hydrogen-based steel making can compete with coal-based steel production. So therefore, people will migrate to the cleaner technologies for decarbonization of the steel sector. Now, this is what is expected, as Bloomberg has suggested. By 2030, this could be possible in EU, UK, and Canada. But at the same time, the hydrogen demand is going to come more from China and India. And that's what is going to happen. So considering the current rate of technology development and the cost, it's very likely that hydrogen-based steelmaking would be economically feasible by 2040 or 2050. But that doesn't mean we will do nothing at this stage. So we should continue demonstration project and see how the very purpose of reduction of CO2 emissions will be achieved. So hydrogen from using grid electricity will be more carbon intensive. So that's also not a feasible. Using gray hydrogen is not a solution. So we are talking about the green hydrogen. And if you look at hydrogen production at the moment in the world, mostly is coming from the natural gas. I was told that around 0.1% of global dedicated hydrogen production comes from water electrolysis. And that too, if you look at how much it is coming from green energy or renewable energy, is insignificant at the moment. So this need to be scaled up. So scale is something we need to look at. So then what are the choices available for the sector? I should talk about the steel sector now. So we should continue material efficiency improvement, energy efficiency improvement, deployment of best available technologies, performance improvement in the existing technology. That will be key for the steel industry at least in 5 to 10 years. But a shift towards renewable sources of power is essential to reduce indirect emissions of the steel industry. And that is also one of the main contributor will be for hydrogen production in the long term. So at the moment, if you look at from 2030, steel industry must be capable enough to deploy the hydrogen-based reduction technology so that we are in the right path towards deep decarbonization. So at the moment, what we see, hydrogen reduction has really a great potential to reduce carbon intensity in this sector. But all efforts right now should be taken to see that successful deployment to the full potential is demonstrated in our conditions. We know that such deployment cases are happening from Europe. We can discuss about that case later. But it is essential we also demonstrate in our condition, in Indian conditions, because in steel sector, hydrogen is going to be used for making iron through direct reductions. And in India, predominantly, we have coal-based DRIs. And therefore, it will be really a challenge in our operating conditions to demonstrate, and for that, right collaborations, government supports, technological support, private participations are very much essential. So with that, I'll take a pause and we can discuss more in details and we can take up the questions. Thanks, sir.